So I was talking about the Form 300 and Form 300A. Form 300 includes the information such as the identification of the employee, the description of the case, and classification of the case. Whereas the Form 300A includes the information such as the description of how the accident or illness occurred, a list of objects or substances involved, and the nature of the location where the injury or illness occurred. For recording injuries and illnesses, certain questions that need to be asked are who employs the injured? Was there a death, an illness, or an injury? Was the case work related? And was the case an injury or illness? Or was the injury recordable? In this case, for some questions, for example, was the case work related? A kind of flowchart can be used to determine these kind of uh, questions. So, for example, this is the injury and illness incident report form, which is called as the Form 301. And this is a chart for determining whether the case must be recorded or not recorded. So, for example, if it does not result from a work accident or from an exposure in the work environment, then the case is not recorded. But if it results from the work accidents, then the case is recorded, except when there is an injury, but there is no medical treatment or this transfer to other job and restriction of work or motion, etc. has happened, then the case is not recorded. In other cases, the case is recorded. And this is the flow chart which determines whether the case is work related or not work related. So, for example, if the employee is on the employer's premises, or if it is not on the employer's premises, then if the employee is doing their own work or the company's work, so these kind of questions are asked to determine whether the injury is work related or not. Inspection checklists are also used to help prevent the accidents. They can be generic or customized. So that means some generic checklists are available, or some contractors, for more accuracy, they customize those checklists and then they use for their personal use on their projects as well. So safety checklists customized to the industry is less likely to be ignored. So as an example, this is the form for the safety inspection checklist. Okay, so as the checklist suggests, so it describes certain items or situations, and those situations needs to be determined whether these situations or items have happened or they exist on the job. So this is how the checklist occurs. So, for example, place a check mark next to the each item that is satisfactory. Press a cross mark next to the item which has the deficiencies. So these kind of questions need to be answered in the checklist. So this topic has then described the mainly the requirements from the OSHA. The Act of Safety Act is actually mandated on the employers, and the employers need to follow it and adhere to the federal and state safety regulations. So construction companies have realized the need to develop in-house safety regulations. So therefore, in today's construction environment, the contractor can no longer passively promote safe work practices. So, with the passage of the Occupational Safety and Health Act, employers were mandated to follow and adhere to federal and state safety regulations. So, in addition, construction companies also realized the need to develop and implement their own in house safety regulations. So, whether safety regulations are federal, state, or self imposed, employers must demonstrate a commitment to safety, uh, must have in place hazard assessment and control programs, must develop and implement safety planning, and must have rules and work procedures that are proactive and pertain to the job site, and must provide safety and health training that is thorough and applicable to the work performed by its employees. So it is not enough to make one's project engineer the safety manager at the site and expect to be in compliance with the safety regulations and prevent accidents. So one of the most aggressive and proactive safety programs developed for the construction industries use is DuPont's Stop Safety Program. The acronym stands for Safety, Training, Observation, and Prevention. So, what makes this program so effective is the added key ingredients to the already developed and implemented safety programs. The key ingredients include positive intervention into the unsafe act that caused the accident resulting in the illness or injury, uh, education of the employees regarding why the act causing the accident is unsafe, and a method of tracking the occurrence and developing ways of ensuring positive improvement. Employers are realizing that the consistent and regulated monitoring of safety practices does pay. So, construction firms that have poor safety records are becoming less competitive in the marketplace because of higher costs of insurance, lower morale of employees, increased costs of fines at the job site, and overall loss of job profits. So, in the end, therefore, I must say that construction safety at the construction site uh, is of paramount importance, and all the efforts must be made to prevent the accidents and create an accident-free job site.